I told you how I feel about her. I can't prove it, but there's little things, and my mom used to call and cry to me in LA. I don't believe that Miriam really cares that much about my mom, okay? I think she pretends to care. I think she humors her. I think she thinks she's way more mentally ill. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example of Marion, okay? This is a perfect example of how, but Marion could say anything about me, remember? Back in 2009, I woke up, before my mom got sectioned again, right? And fortunately it didn't happen around me, it happened at her friend's house. Something, they were in an argument, but, you know. I woke up and I heard my mom on the phone giving her name and her this and her that, right? Apparently you know how you get our offers for credit cards all the time? Whatever she was doing, she was trying to set up something. You know what Marion later said to me? I know damn well your mother wouldn't have thought to do that. She couldn't have. See, my mom is not, just because she's mentally ill, she still remembers things like her social security number and her name and all that, but Marion thinks not. Marion, I had nothing to do with... I know. But Marion makes her out to be that way, and that my mom couldn't possibly come up with any of this on her own. Even that time in 2009, and remember, my mom's gotten a lot worse now. She's a lot older. In 2009, Marion, I swear to God, she was like, I know your mother didn't think to do that on her own. Yeah, she actually did, you friggin' cunt. She did. I didn't do it. I didn't call them. If they have a recording, it's her voice, not mine. I didn't even know she was doing it. I was asleep. I woke up, heard her, you know. But to Marion, my mom can't possibly come up with that, and Marion can convince everybody, including my mom, social worker, psychologist, who know my mother came to them, right? But it was all my idea. My mom only talked to you and Mary and Chris because it was my idea. I put ideas in her head, and yeah, I did. But what people are missing is I had every right to put ideas into her head when it comes to having a new will drawn up when she doesn't even know if the old one even exists, and it doesn't include, and things have changed. And number two, putting her home in a living trust for me. But remember, I'm nothing, and what people will see is that, well, you know, the power of attorneys existed all these 14 years, you know, so that must be what the schizophrenic woman wants. It's just her daughter that fucks with her head. Get it? You see what's going on here, right? Well, you've seen it firsthand. Mary would have contacted you by now. She hasn't been gone. Give me a break. She has not been gone. She has intentionally not contacted you only because she knows you're in communication with me. And she believes Marion, and she knows that you care about me and you're not going to believe Marion, so she's having nothing to do with you. Because Marion smoothed things over. Remember, Mary knew nothing about what happened in 2009. You get it? So now she does, and now it's all perfectly clear to her. It was all my idea. I influenced my mom, and my mom really doesn't want, you know, but you and I know the truth. My mom doesn't really like Marion all that much. And my mom, I had given up. She got out of that mental hospital. I had given up because I was sick of this shit. I was sick of her going back and forth and not telling anyone the truth. And then she got me all in the bandwagon again because she got out of that mental hospital and met that guy. And it was all over again. And I'm like, well, all right, whatever, Mom, if that's what you want to do, you know. You get it? Who? I know, it's sad, and Marion uses guilt because my mom wouldn't have anything if it were not for Marion, you know. So it's really, really sad, and I believe that Marion yelled at her the entire time. I mean, why would she get released and then suddenly be back in another hospital? Tell me that. Because think about it, Marion had her to herself, and think how mad Marion was. You know I left all those notes. Oh yeah, not the next day, the same day. The same fucking day. We don't know. She's happier in her la la land. She can't tell me. She believed me. I talked to her a total of. I called her. I was just happy to talk to her, and like I said, she's happier there. She sang that song. I sang it to her yesterday. I also sang one of my original songs to her. I mean, Saturday I visited her. she sang the song, from West Side Story, there's a place for us, a time and place, a beautiful, she's in La La Land. She thinks, the gods want her in there, and she says, that's where they want her to stay, and she's safe there and whatnot. But back to the Alzheimer's dementia, I talked to a staff member, Marion always thinks it's psychological. I don't even think, I said, even she said, well, there should be a family meeting. She needs some kind of, be somewhere else. And I'm like, yeah, I have no rights when it comes to my own mother. Nobody gives a shit what I say. And, she probably will wind up and it's so sad, Cheryl. Even the fact that, my mom has I told you she has bad periodontal, she has bad teeth. Now her teeth are going to rot out of her skull. She used to use her Sonicare every night and do the gum pick. And you know what I mean? Everything, they don't care in a mental hospital. They, people just disintegrate. And if Marion had her way, remember, Marion never, ever, that's why my mom wrote that poem I shared with you, right? The family never visits my mom in the mental hospital. Marion visited her, when I showed up in 2010, it didn't look good that the daughter flies 3,000 miles away to visit the woman who has been in there for almost a month, because I understand that when you're in there and nobody visits you, even the staff looks at you like, oh, nobody even cares about you, nobody visits you, you know what I mean? I know, so I did it. I made it there and I did it. And I did the same thing this time, but I had to do it. I did it fast. I did it before, and I didn't know. It took me hours to get there by public transportation, and for all I knew, I was already on the blacklist. But remember, Marion never thought in a million years I'd find out where my mom was. It was chance. It doesn't matter. I bet you anything. I told him outright. I said, I don't know if I'll ever be able to visit my mom again. I might be put on a blacklist because of Marion's lies. I told him. Told one staff member anyway, because it's true, but I at least came there once, and I spent 3 hours with her. I hugged her. I was crying at the end, and they were looking at me. I was uncontrollably, and I heard them whispering, that's the daughter, and I said, I'm like, can't even talk, and I'm like, her mind snapped, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, she's not usually like this. They don't know that, you understand? If she's like that from the moment they get her, they don't know that she's not usually like that. It's not their fault. They don't know. But I did all I could do, and people are ignoring me. I believe it's dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that, and she'll probably just wind up committed into a mental hospital. It happens all the time, And Marion will pocket. Oh yeah. Well, can I just tell you where she is real quick? Can you write it down? And will you call her? No, they won't care if you call it. The cat's out of the bag. It doesn't matter anymore. You understand? It doesn't matter anymore. It's over with. In that respect, Marion's gonna find out, and you know what I mean? It's over with. But I have to find it here on my Hotmail, because I want to give you this. I'm sure you can have just one more minute. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you what?